All right, so describe the Enlightenment views of Beccaria, Wollstonecraft. Finally, describe the Enlightened absolutism. What does that mean? Give examples of certain monarchs that express these Enlightened views. So we talked about Enlightened absolutism yesterday. Seems like those two terms just don't belong together. Like jumbo shrimp, right?
I heard you. Yeah.
Okay.
You say what we used yesterday.
Oh,
Yeah.
Here, I didn't know if you watched the reels.
No, you used it yesterday and the day before that. Yeah. You used it 3 days in a row. Going a little dry.
Oh,
Make up a new joke. Use a new joke. No, it's not. Oh, yeah. It's gonna be a
all right. Anyway, put it down, Bill. Here.
I don't. That's not Blake. That's a.
Hey.
Okay.
All right.
It's not a latte.
Recording, you know that.
Okay.
Jeez. Okay, so we talked about Beccaria yesterday, Wollstonecraft, and we talked about a few enlightened absolute monarchs. So there you go, there you go. Get work and stay quiet. Okay. Bless you. You need another minute here? We good? Okay, one more minute. All right, so yesterday we started with Beccaria, right? So what do we know about Beccaria? What do we know about him? His enlightened views? How do you see his views shaped in the United States Constitution? Go ahead, Caroline.
He believed that torture and thought that Congress should be given right to speedy trial and fair and just punishment.
All right, good job, good job. So when it comes to torture, right, he thinks that this is unreasonable, that this shouldn't happen at all, right? Even the accused, even these criminals that maybe are accused of a crime, they should have rights themselves. They should not be tortured and killed. Okay, he thinks that's immoral, that is inhumane, and that these things need to be solved, and the government should not act in this sort of manner. Okay, especially when it comes to torture. So no longer can they just strap people down to a table and throw some rats out in a bucket or something like that, and eat the other side, and then have it eat through their body. Ew, gross, right? So hopefully that, right, for Beccaria, he said, hopefully we can put an end to this before this gets even worse here. So yeah, there's other examples of torture that you can think of, but Beccaria, his voice and his ideas reflect about the accused. How even criminals deserve a little bit better when it comes to these treatments, these harsh treatments. All right, so for Beccaria, how can you see his ideas reflected into the United States Constitution? So remember, right to a speedy and fair trial, that's another example where he brings this convention. And a lot of our judicial systems. Connor, go ahead. Okay, good. So really 5, 6, 7, and 8, when it comes to judicial branch, judicial hearing, judicial review, when it comes to protecting, say, people of, really that committed crimes, these amendments of the Bill of Rights help protect those accused. So that's important to note about Beccaria. So really the 5, 6, 7, and 8 amendment, it really helps, especially with the 8th Amendment, no cruel or unusual punishments. All right, so any questions here on Beccaria? Anybody researching Beccaria in here? Amelia, okay, someone, glad someone is. Okay, good. All right, Wollstonecraft. Why? Go ahead.
Say, making sure someone else raised their
I'm
hand.
waiting for it. Go ahead.
All right. So she was kind of the first that we talked about anyway to try to push towards women's suffrage.
Yeah, good job. So Wollstonecraft, when it comes to opportunities for women, okay, during the time of before industrialization, women were stripped to the household, taking care of babies, right? Putting food on the table, staying in the kitchen. Okay, I'm not gonna dive down that hole. So anyway, with Wollstonecraft, it created more opportunities for women. And when it comes to applying these measures to government, and giving opportunities like voice and governance, when it comes to opportunities of education, shut up. Wollstonecraft is applying these ideas, and she's presenting this to governments to shape it for women to have equal opportunities. So, what amendment? What amendment? Yeah.
I don't know. You got it wrong yesterday too. Yes.
All right, so the 19th Amendment, good. So, when did that happen? 19th Amendment, United States. When was that ratified? No. Way later, which is shocking. It's like, what? Why didn't we get Gonna move on with this, B. 1920, yeah, good job. So easy way to remember it, the 19th Amendment, okay, women's suffrage, it was presented in 1919, then ratified in 1920. Okay, yeah, it's not 19 there. Then eventually ratified in 1920. All right, okay, what about enlightened absolutism? Enlightened absolutism, what do we have? So these are like these oxymorons. Like, big baby, you, big baby, get it.
Is that not this guy right there?
Oh, yeah.
It's when a monarch keeps their control over the land but kind of tries to place.
Yeah, good job, good job. So as these views are becoming more prevalent all throughout Europe, okay, we talked about the printing press, right? How these articles, these books are really spreading around, these opinions, these interests of what government should be, reflected by a lot of these Enlightenment thinkers. Okay, obviously for these monarchs, they don't want to see what happens like France. Okay, we'll mention France here next chapter with revolutions, and they want to try to correct this before it gets out of hand. Okay, so they some of these leaders start to apply these measures of giving people's rights, liberties. They're limited, but it's a start, right? It's a start of infusing some of these Enlightenment views and opinions and interests into their society. For Frederick the Great, we talked about him. Who's the leader of? Not Russia, but Connor? Prussia with a P, good job. So we'll know Prussia as uniting Germany together. We'll talk about that here soon enough before World War I. But Prussia is known as having an advanced military, a very high, sophisticated military when it comes to their weaponry, when it comes to their strategies and techniques on the battlefield. So that's one thing to know about Frederick the Great. He wanted to apply education for his people. Okay, he realizes that this is the future of Prussian society. So education, when it comes to public school, public education, is applied by the state. Okay, especially when it comes to the military, you need to have people that are educated, that understand these techniques, these types of measures on the battlefield. Also, when it comes to serfdom, he eliminates it.
Oh, I'm
longer.
What?
Get the cuffs off. Yeah, okay, all right. That's something maybe you can add to. No, it's awesome.
Let's go.
Yeah.
No.
All right. Okay. So anyway, with Frederick the Great, that's a good example of an enlightened absolute monarch. Okay. Who else could we talk about? Another great. Really? Catherine the Great. Yep, good job. She's ruler of Russia with an R. Not Prussia, but Russia. Okay, so she follows suit right after Peter the Great. And we talked quite a bit about Peter the Great already when it comes to advancing Russia, expanding its borders, really trying to increase the military, especially the Navy, right around these waters here to try to expand Russia's global power. Also, when it comes to accepting a lot of these new views from Russia, enlightened viewpoints, so arts, music, right? When it comes to education, Catherine the Great advances that even more. Okay, she really piggybacks off of Peter the Great's successes and gives people rights. I don't know, but anyway, it's a start. Okay, especially when it comes to freedom of speech, freedom of religion, even. But again, it's limited. She also is known for doing what? Giving opportunities to Aussie women. Women, yeah, good job. Look at that. Yeah. So there you go, Catherine the Great. All right. So is there any questions here of these enlightened absolute monarchs here? No? No? What about Macquarie and Wollstonecraft? Okay, so we talked quite a bit about these Enlightenment thinkers already. Make sure you look at the discussion post before you dive into this project. I want to make sure all the Enlightenment thinkers are chosen. Okay? So I don't want to see like 3 people presenting Thomas Hobbes on one day. Better not happen. Or John Locke, something like that. I want to see that every Enlightenment thinkers chose. Be nice to these Enlightenment. Right? Don't leave any of them out. Include them. Okay, all right, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay. So, is there any questions on what we're doing here with the project? Listen, you can work together here. You can talk. Obviously, you need to communicate here, but keep the volume low. You can move to another seat and sit next to your partner, but you got to be seated, right? You got to be seated. I don't want to see you standing up. Oh, even you, Jason.
Still on.